Hi, my name is Sharon Joseph. I'm a psychologist at Mysterious Minds. In the we look into study motivations. So, when we talk about study motivations, there are a lot of reasons why there are people who are very motivated to study, and there are a lot of reasons why you don't want to study. So, one thing we can put across is നമ്മുടെ goal എന്താണ്? Why are we doing this in the first place? So, writing it down, keeping a visual reminder is always a good way to motivate yourself the moment you feel down. So, you can place it either on your table or on your board, wherever you usually look into, placing your final goal. Why are you going through this? Why do you have to write exams? Why do you have to put in effort? All of that can act as a motivating factor. As soon as we do start studying, or as soon as we sit to study, especially exam sametha, it might seem like there's a lot of things that is happening. There is way too much to cover. One good habit that has been proved to be beneficial is jotting down whatever you have to do. ഒരു ലിസ്റ്റ് പോലെ എഴുതുക എന്തൊക്കെ പഠിക്കാനുണ്ട്, എന്തോരം പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So a large task is there, breaking it down to smaller task. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഇതിരി സമാധാനം ഉണ്ടാവും. Okay, I can do it. When we see it as a mountain in front of us, it seems like a mammoth task and it seems too daunting to even touch it. So writing down your task and breaking it down is always beneficial. Why we stress on writing it down is as long as it stays in your head. Even though we're saying, okay, ഞാൻ അപ്പോൾ ഇത് പഠിക്കാം, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇത് പഠിക്കാം, അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞാലും it's still in your head. And our head is a place where there are a lot of thoughts. So many thoughts that it is easy for it to get clouded. It is also easy for the individual to think there's too much to do. So അത് എഴുതി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ക്ലിയർലി ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസിങ് സ്കിൽ അവിടെ ക്ലിയർലി മനസ്സിലാവും, ഓക്കെ ഇത് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ചെയ്യും, ഇത് ഞാൻ പിന്നെ ചെയ്യാം. So നമ്മൾ even when we're breaking down a study task, be realistic as to how much you can finish in a day. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഓവർ എസ്റ്റിമേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കുറേ ഓക്കെ ഇത്രയും ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് ചെയ്യുന്നതും പറഞ്ഞ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ it becomes a demotivating factor. And not a lot of us can come out of that and say, okay, ബാക്കി ഞാൻ നാളെ പഠിക്കാം. It's like, okay, ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് തീർത്തില്ല. So അങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ ടാസ്ക് ബ്രേക്ക് ഡൗൺ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ be realistic as to how much time you can spend to studying what. Another way into studying is mnemonics. Especially if we have a lot to do and there's too much, we can make a small mnemonics, something that is easy to remember and something that is easy to bring up. So that is always a trick to when there are too many names to remember, you can make a mnemonic out of it. Another way in which we can move forward is tidying up your workspace. It's like a clean space means clean mind. The moment we have too many things around us, the moment there are a lot of things around you, eventually we'll also feel like, okay, there's a lot of things to do because our mind is also clouded. So the physical act of tidying up the workspace helps us calm down and helps us sort, helps us organize how to go forward. So cleaning up your study space either before you start or after you're done is always like a beneficial tack to go forward. Another thing that we can understand for each individual, ഓരോ ആൾക്കാരുടെയും study method different. The way I study might not be the way you find comfortable studying. I might be a visual learner. I will have to write down. I need colors. I need that kind of stimulation to get me studying. But you might be an auditory learner. കേട്ട് പഠിക്കണം, പറഞ്ഞ് പഠിക്കണം. That makes more sense to you. There might be kinesthetic or tactile learners. So they are better learning things through role plays or some sort of movement, maybe through music, maybe through dance, even like activities. Anything that has to do with movement or touch will help them study better. So understanding if you're a visual learner, auditory learner or a kinesthetic learner, അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ we can align our study methods and materials to that. So that is another beneficial way in which we can study. A lot of people do also like to study in groups. So they think, okay, പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ either teaching somebody else in a group. You have studied and you are teaching somebody else, that helps them study more. That gives them a greater insight, a greater understanding. So that is another way in which, but if you are somebody who likes to study by yourself, then don't force yourself to be in a situation where, കുറേ പേരുണ്ട്. ഒറ്റയ്ക്കിരുന്ന് പഠിക്കാനാണെങ്കിൽ ഇഷ്ടം, you feel much more goes into your head, then that makes more sense to you, go ahead with that. So identifying what study style suits you and what works best for you, that is something that we can look into. കാരണം അത് മനസ്സിലായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ our studying habits become better and easier like that. And the last thing that we can look into is dividing portions. A lot of us are good at organizing. Way before the exams, we do a lot time and a lot, periods in which we can study. But then there are a lot of us who do procrastinate, who do find it difficult to start studying from a long time. Angana, at the end, if we are trying to keep, it is always better write it down like we previously discussed and put a timetable as to ഇത്രയും ഞാൻ എന്തോരം പഠിക്കും. We have a lot of Eisenhower techniques, Pomodoro techniques in terms of time management. So those are also something that you guys can look into when trying to enhance study techniques. So these are a few ways in which you can get yourself motivated to study. one last thing would be കുത്തിയിരുന്ന്, for a span of 2 hours, 3 hours പഠിക്കാണ്ട് give yourself breaks. Even though we might not feel like it, it benefits your brain, it benefits your body. Move around a little, take a breather, and then continue studying. So these are the various techniques in which you can try, experiment, see which one suits you best, and you can work on studying your different styles. This is Sharon Joseph signing off.